Howdy, hey y'all! Thank you very much for the great honor it is to speak today here in front of the White House in the greatest nation in the world. I want to start off by making it very clear before I get started. I support our president. I support our president, his character and his strength and his calculated hand in making decisions that are good for our country. I can sit back and I can armchair quarterback him all day, and I can think he should be doing this, he should be doing that, which maybe he should, maybe he shouldn't, but I still believe in the leadership of our president. I'm an elected official. I'm a county commissioner. I chair a board of 3 in a population of 65,000 in Otero County in New Mexico, a state that is directly affected by the border crisis right now. Back in April, in our county, Otero County, we structured a declaration of an emergency in regards to the situation on our border. The narcotics are flowing into my county like they have never flowed in before. The Border Patrol checkpoints, the secondary lines of defense, are closed right now. They've been closed since March 25th. And the cartel is winning right now. I hate to make that announcement in case anybody hasn't figured that out, but it's strategic of the cartel. I like to say that there's a double-edged sword on our border right now. 2 edges of that sword. One migrant, one narcotic. The migrant edge of that sword is merely nothing but a smokescreen that the cartel, which is a sharper edge of that sword, is operating behind. The cartel is very strategic. They're very clever. They use large blocks of migrants to hit the border at calculated times to exhaust our Border Patrol. When our Border Patrol is exhausted taking care of the migrant aspect, here come the narcotics end of it. On an unsecured border, they come across our border, they get on our highways, and it's a green light wherever they want to go, because our secondary lines of defense in regards to our Border Patrol checkpoints are shut down right now. We have got to get our checkpoints open, and we have to get a wall along the border. There's no 2 different ways to look at it. I myself recently went down to the border with We Build a Wall, and I witnessed something that was just a perfect picture of the American resolve. It was Americans that don't wait on the government. They don't wait on the political leaders to make a decision. They don't wait on appropriations to come through the government, but they dig deep, they dig gritty, and they get things done themselves. Brian Colfash, the We Build a Wall Foundation, is a wonderful foundation, and it's a direction that any patriots out there that want to give to that organization, because they're doing a job that the government can't do. The structure that they put up in regards to the construction is top notch. It shows America true, and it's what we must have. I want to say on behalf of myself, my county of Otero County, we are not against immigrants. We love immigrants. We welcome immigrants. We know immigrants keep our nation healthy. We know that the immigrants, they provide labor in our country that we desperately need. So we need immigrants. We're a nation of immigrants, but before we're a nation of immigrants, we're a nation of laws. Our laws have to be upheld, and the immigrants that come into our country have to come through the legal, vetted, processed way. Any other way is dangerous. It's dangerous for Americans. It's dangerous for the foundation of our country. Last month, there was 133,000 that were apprehended at the border, but yet they weren't only apprehended. Right after they were apprehended, they were handed a piece of paper, and then they were turned loose inside of our country. With those pieces of paper, they go to the airport and they get on planes without any photo or physical ID. We don't even know who these people are. They're getting on airplanes and they're flying all across the United States. And we think, well, they're Mexicans or they're Guatemalans. No, there's over 50 different nationalities represented on our southern border. Whenever I was down there on the We Build a Wall deal, I climbed a high point. I looked across the border into Mexico, no border security, and what did I see on the other side of the border in Mexico was a newly constructed mosque right on the other side of the border. How do we know anything about what is going on inside of those walls? That could be radical jihadists being trained in Mexico and coming directly across an unsecured border. And here we sit back dumb and asleep in America because we're too focused on football. We're too focused on Nancy Pelosi's stuttering, mumbling speeches. We're too focused on Donald Trump's tax returns while we have migrants flowing into our country that we don't even know who they are.
That's right.
We have got to get our border secure. We've got to get our secondary security measures in place. And we have got to make America great again. And the politicians, like the governor of New Mexico, Michelle Lujan Grisham, that proudly and stupidly make the statement that there is no crisis on the border, she needs to humble herself enough to retract that comment and say, you know what, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there is a crisis on the border, but the danger with pride, as the scriptures tell us, pride typically goes before a fall. And I pray that she will get rid of the pride and she will put New Mexico and New Mexicans first. Right now in New Mexico was recently voted the least desirable state in the United States to live in, and that's my home state. That's the country that I come from. And whenever I see those kind of politics that are crippling my state, it makes my blood boil and it builds fire under me, because I'm not going to sit back and let my state of New Mexico go down the tubes whenever we have the greatest climate, the most public lands, diverse culture with Hispanics and natives, a southeast corner that's brimming with oil, a northwest corner that's brimming with gas, and we're last in the United States. It ticks me off, and it makes me want to fight harder for the people of New Mexico, and I will continue to fight for the people of New Mexico, and I will continue to fight for our president, because we've got a window of grace right now in Donald Trump, and we better capitalize on that window of grace, because if we don't, the hand of judgment is going to fall on this nation like it's never failed before. Get behind our president, remember who we are, and let's make America great again. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
So the people who were watching were able to see your kind of full speech there. I guess the thing that I'd ask is, in addition to that, is if there are people watching who disagree with you.
Yes.
Democrats, progressives, people further to the left of that.
Sure.
What would you sort of want them to know?
You know, anybody that has a disagreement, disagreements aren't a bad thing, because I'm not going to see everything the same way you see everything, the way the next person sees everything. But anytime you have a disagreement where you want to come to a solution, you have to have humility. You have to acknowledge that maybe, you know, as the Bible says, esteem one another better than yourself. And as long as we have that kind of a heart and a motive where we can listen to one another, where we can reason with one another, then you know, we can always come to a common ground. Now, there's fundamental principles that are what I don't compromise, and those stem off of my faith. I'm a born-again Christian. I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Bible as the Word of God. The 10 Commandments are very clear, and they're not to be compromised upon. But such a thing as immigration, something like that, we can compromise on. We can work out. Such a thing as murder or theft, stealing, those are things that we can't find common ground, because they're just right and wrong.
And so something that was kind of interesting out here, and I kind of unexpected for me actually, is the level of difference among different speakers over whether or not they still like Trump.
Sure.
So I know you're here as Cowboys for Trump.
I am.
It seems like you're still
Absolutely.
probably voting for Trump.
Absolutely. And I am as well. In probably, I don't know the geographical regions where most are here from, but I'm probably one that is the most affected by an unsecured border. I come from New Mexico. I come from Otero County, New Mexico, in the southern part of the state. And not only do I come from New Mexico, but I'm an elected representative. I'm a county commissioner from New Mexico. So it's not just me that's affected, but it's my constituents that are affected. So I have a lot of skin in this game, but I still support our president, and I still believe in his leadership and his character to make the right decisions. Now, in regards to Mexico and the agreement that they made the other day, the president needs to hold their feet to the fire, and he needs to be strong with Mexico, because Mexico is going to have to do a little housekeeping inside Mexico, and it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be good on the same token, because the bad guys need to be weeded out right now.
And what is sort of your response to your fellow speakers who are out here saying, I won't vote for Trump again because because they so ardently agree with you on the issue itself?
Well, I don't know. I think that's a slippery slope. You know, whenever you you agree with everything somebody's doing, but then there's one thing that you don't agree with, then do you throw the baby out with the bathwater, or do you get past it? You know, and I think that's what I think that a lot of these people said. There's no way I would vote for Trump next election. I think there's more just blowing smoke, for lack of a better word, because whenever it comes right down to it, he is by far the best man for the job, by far. And he falls in line with our conservative platform, and he's not taking care of the swamp. That's what sets our president apart from...
Can I get your information right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a card?
I don't have a card. But that's what sets our president apart from all the past presidents, all the current and past legislators, is he's not pandering to partisan politics. He's doing what's right for the American people, and he's putting America first. And he's not a racist. He's not just trying to do things for one particular people. He's fighting to bring power back to the people, and that's all the people. So
one of the things I hear a lot is that, well, he's got these kinds of advisors who don't really have the same agenda as him, that kind of thing. What do you think about sort of the types of people that he's sort of surrounded himself with? I heard a lot of hate toward Jared Kushner here today.
I don't know Jared Kushner. I've never met the man. I believe in the president's judgment of character well enough that I would imagine that he's probably a pretty good guy, or I don't think he'd be standing as close to the president as he is right now. The president's a good judge of character, and he's got vision, and those are the greatest things we need in political leadership today. If he needs another advisor, send him my phone number, and I'll come and tell him what's up down there in New Mexico, because I do think, but in all seriousness, I do think that the president does need somebody. I'm not saying me, but somebody like me, somebody that's connected to the people, that's got boots on the ground on the lowest county levels, and I'd fit the bill all right, but I know many others that would fit the bill too.
And to people who are watching, can you just reintroduce yourself so they know who is?
Yeah, my name is
an elected official. Right?
Couy Griffin. I'm the county commissioner from Otero County. I'm also the founder of Cowboys For Trump.
And a Republican, I assume.
Oh,
right,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know what though? My party affiliation only goes so far, because just like my faith, I'm also a Christian, and I could say, well, I'm a Baptist, but before I'm a Baptist, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. And so before I'm a Republican, I'm a believer in our country and the Constitution. So if the Republican Party starts drifting out in the murky waters, then I'm going to kick them in the butt, and I'm going to say adios, and I'll be a independent or whatever you call them. But I still believe in the Republican conservative platform. I believe I'm pro-Second Amendment, I'm for secure borders, and I'm pro-life to the very end. So from beginning to end. So that's my platform in a nutshell.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks, partner.
Appreciate
You bet. God bless.
Yeah.